It creates these little white flecks horizontally across the teeth of developing teeth in children. And if they end up becoming brown, and then they eventually become black. Your teeth start to get cavities in the face of the tooth. Normally you get cavities in the lateral sides of the tooth where the toothbrush can't get to. But because of fluoride, you have a new kind of cavity that's being created. One through the front of the tooth, right through the enamel of the front of the tooth, because now they're porous. Because what fluoride has done is it has actually made the tooth enamel porous. And so there are little holes, thousands of little holes. Those white patches you see on your children's teeth are actually holes. You could put surgical needles into those. And you could get hundreds of surgical needles into those little holes. Their teeth have now been, that's a visible sign of fluoride poisoning. Just as if you were poisoned by lead, you would get a blue-black line across your gums. And that's an indication that you've been poisoned by lead. And it's a warning to tell you not to stop taking the lead in. In the same way, the damage to your teeth is an indication that you should be stopped taking this. Now think about this logically. They're putting this in the water supply to prevent dental caries, which only about 20% of the population get cavities at all. So you're talking about a small number of children, 3% of the population, who have the really bad tooth problem, but now we supposedly reduced a few cavities for them, and meanwhile we've given 50% of the population a new dental disease that never existed before. Does this make sense? Nothing about this makes sense. The whole thing is absolutely crazy. And yet you're voluntarily allowing them to drug you every day through your water supply. It's a drug. Nobody has that right. Take the power back from these people. Refuse to pay your taxes. Do something. Join a group. Get angry. Now, that's just an article just to show you from that accident in Florida. That's actually them spraying or cleaning off the bottom of the cars. A guy in a spacesuit with goggles using chemicals to try and remove this acid that you're drinking every day to try and prevent it from destroying the cars. Do you believe that? Not only that, you know the highway, they had to dig it up. They had to treat it like toxic waste, and they had to take it to a lined landfill somewhere and bury it. And then, I mean, that's what they did with the highway. Yet you're drinking this every day. Get angry. I'm pissed for you. I really am. Now, there's not too much more. I just wanted to come, give you the message that none of this makes sense, show you how it's done, and then just ask you, you know, if you're willing to take somebody else's drug, which you're now doing, for a small group of kids who don't brush their teeth and drink fizzy drinks all the time, what if this small group of kids get hemorrhoids? Are you guys going to take hemorrhoid cream for the rest of your life? When do you call a stop to this? I think you call a stop to it today. And you join the National Health Federation. You join any citizens groups you can. Make up your own if you can't join one in your area. And start getting active. And go around to people and start telling them there's a problem here. And I'll tell you, there's a website, fluoridealert.org. It's run by a chemist. He was a professor of chemistry in a New York university. And it's one of the better sites, and it has all the information you'll need to take before a council or to take to a teachers group or a PTA or whatever organization you can appear in front of. Start talking to people. Start telling people something is wrong here. There's going to be a public meeting tomorrow, and I think Scott Tips is going to be at it. Yes. The National Health Federation will be there to speak at it, and it's going to be held in the Teachers Centre in Parnell Square West in Dublin, right? Tomorrow at 2:30. And I would just urge you, if you have nothing planned, get there and join a group or start your own. There's another group also represented by Guy Jerry here in the audience. He started a group. Just find a way of starting to get organized. You've got to get this stopped. You've been drugged against your will for 45 years. I think the time to stop is right now, and today isn't a bad time to start. And start finding out who you can talk to. Go to politicians, whatever you can do. And I'll tell you that one study that I used to refer to whenever I went around through the councils was a study from China. There's 3 studies from China, all showing that fluoride lowers children's IQs, right? And this one, this is the effects of high fluoride water supply on children's intelligence. And it says here, let's see if I can read this now without my glasses. It says here, okay, it has been reported that fluoride can penetrate the fetal blood-brain barrier of a fetus, right? It can actually jump the placenta and penetrate the oh boy, do you believe this? And it can accumulate in the cerebral fluid, in the cerebral tissue before birth, and thereby apparently lowering their IQs. Do you really want to put something in the water supply that can jump the placenta, accumulate in the cerebral fluids of a fetus? Seriously, that's a published, peer-reviewed study from China. There's 3 of them that all came up with the same results. I can only tell you that from my point of view, this should be stopped. And each one of you has a responsibility to tell your neighbor, your friends, take it to your PTA. I don't care how you do it, but get active. In Northern Ireland, I went to goat meetings for goat farmers, and I told them. I went to PTAs. I went to mother-toddlers groups. I showed up at everything. I was like a virus. You've got to be a virus, too. And, you know, I just want to point out that also, you know, these kids who have the really bad tooth problem that we have here, we know who they are. They have dental records. We know where they live. Why don't we drive over to their house and give them some fluoride tablets if they really need them? And then it's not my problem, and it's not your problem. Let them take some tablets. It's nothing to do with the water supply. What the hell are we doing here putting drugs in? Christmas, this is insanity. It's really insane. Anyway, I hope you agree with me. I hope you get active, and I hope you join these people here in the campaign in the South. Now, I was down here once before, and I helped organize citizens groups in the South as well. And we did marches on the Dole. We did marches on the Health Board. There were marches in Sligo. I think I saw my old friend in the audience here. I don't know if Christoph is here, but I thought I saw him earlier. And he did a march once every 2 weeks on the Health Board, on the NHS, on whoever. And it had an effect, because then the council voted against it. So a lot of your councillors are vulnerable at a time of voting. So get active, because now with this new government thing, put some pressure on. And I would say that get active in any way you can. Join other organizations to bring this issue to them. Because the cornerstone of what they're talking about and all of this globalization and everything else is control. And if you don't even control your water supply, you know, you don't control anything. They've got access to the interior of your body, and they can put, and now that you've allowed them to put in fluoride, they can decide to put in birth control or anything else they feel like putting in. They've got the equipment to do it. You gave them the right to do it. So my message to you from Northern Ireland is get active. Do whatever you can. Tell people. Join citizens groups. Come to the meeting tomorrow with Scott Tips. And the other people who've started already organizing, join other groups and just get active, please. For your own sake, get this stopped. It doesn't make any sense. Thank you.